Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you
All right.
clearly. I want to ask you first, I want some good tutors for my grammar.
hmm
So, can you at least adjust 1 or 2 days a week?
One or I can't promise anything. So I just started a job last week, which is why
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
was on Cambly like every day, but I started my training last week.
Okay,
And it's going to be full time. So I'm not quite sure yet how my hours are going to look because I'm still training.
okay,
And so it depends. I don't want to promise it. I can say, yes, I will try. But what
okay.
I can do is I can also help you find some tutors. So if you tell me what exactly you're looking for, we have a page with all the tutors, and I can post something and say the student from this place is looking for a tutor who can give her this. And then I can send you
Uh,
some recommendations as well.
okay. Actually, my regular tutor, she's on leave for I think till 5th Jan due to Christmas.
Ah, okay. So
And
you just need someone until
she had
then.
posted a message in your Cambly Facebook group that for advanced grammar, tutors said okay, but I don't think they are that good.
Ah, okay. Well, let me do this. I'm trying to think. Well, do
And
you plan on just doing it until your other tutor is back?
no, I practice with her pronunciations, and
Uh-huh.
I want someone for grammar, and I'll search one for IELTS as well. I need three tutors.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I can't promise. So right
Okay.
now, because my schedule, I've cut back my hours on Cambly, and so what I do have available is like booked because I have some regulars I've been working with for like over a year now.
Uh,
So I think the reason you got booked today was someone canceled, I think, and you
I
booked
think.
a lesson. Um,
Okay.
I'm I want to say yes, but I don't want to promise anything because I know that my schedule is busy. So let's do this. Um,
Okay.
you're looking for 2 days a week. Uh, I will see how my schedule goes these next couple of weeks. And if I have availability, then yes, I'm willing to give the lessons.
Because I thought your grammar is quite good, so I can learn a lot of things from you.
Well, thank you. Had I not started this new job, I would say absolutely, I don't mind. But I'm just not sure what my schedule is going to look like starting in the new year. Now that I'm
Okay.
transitioning to a new job. So I
Okay.
can promise that I can give you a lesson as long as I'm available, but I can't promise that it can be 2 days every week. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes,
If
yes.
that's okay with you, I will be available whenever I can for you.
Okay,
And
okay. I'll be in touch with you if you are free. You
yeah,
just tell me, then I'll book
and I'll be
lesson.
better about checking my messages now. I just got on this morning and I had so many messages I needed to go through and reply. So sorry about not responding last week.
It's okay.
But okay, let's do that. So let's just keep up our communication through the message on Cambly. And that way, if I
Yes.
have some openings, then maybe it's better if I send you the request because my schedule, I don't think my schedule for next week is even open yet.
No.
I haven't. This week I know is booked because I had a limited schedule this week due to my new job and Christmas. And next week I haven't
Okay.
opened yet. So if you tell me what days you prefer next week, I'll go ahead and send you a request. Do you know which days?
Any 2 days you can send me. Just the
Okay.
timing is like 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. anytime, 30 minutes.
Okay. I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget.
Okay.
Uh, so I'll send you a request. I have 2 more lessons after this. So once I get a break today, I'll look at my schedule and try to send you some requests for next week before I open up my schedule. Um,
Okay.
because typically once my schedule is open, it fills up
Okay.
really quickly. So
Because you're good at grammar, so I think everyone want to learn from you.
well, I think once I started giving the lessons on the YouTube channel, they link my profile. So people click on my profile and then they look for my availability. So it fills up very quickly.
Okay.
I'll send you the request if that's okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. And also really quickly, so we did start just a few minutes late today. I have another lesson right after this. So if they call on time, I'll need to leave just a couple of minutes early, just to let you know.
Okay, it's all right.
Okay, so for today, what would you like to work on? Do you have anything in mind for today?
Past perfect and past perfect continuous. Difference between past perfect and past perfect.
I pulled up a couple of things because I saw we had a lesson, but past perfect versus past perfect continuous, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me pull this up. So let's just do an overview of it, kind of like we did last time, and see the differences between it.
Yes, sure.
And then maybe we can practice it some, and then if we have some time, try and get it into some conversation with just using it in your sentences. So I'm going to go from this website because it's comparing. Let me zoom in for you. Can you see this time? I know last time you weren't able to see.
Yes.
Yeah?
I can see now.
Perfect. Okay. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, so our past perfect tense, of course, how we form that is going to be had, so the past tense of have, and then our past participle. So very similar to present perfect. Present perfect is have plus the past participle. Past perfect is had plus the past participle. And then for our past perfect continuous, it's a little different. We have had been, plus the verb ending in ing. So had been drinking, had been sleeping, and so forth. So that's just our forms of how we create it. So let's look at how we use it. So our past perfect tense, it's going to talk about a past action, so something that finished when another past action happened. I think it's going to give us some examples in just a second. And then the past perfect continuous tense describes a past action which started in the past and then continued to happen after another action or time in the past.
Okay.
So I know that sounds confusing.
Means there is no connection between present and that past.
Right. There's no connection here. No. It's a past action.
Means both the actions happen in past only.
Exactly. Yeah.
I reached home and I had called my friend when I reached home. Right. Both the actions happen in the past.
Exactly. And so one is something that's happening at the same time, like when another past action happened, like the example you just gave, that's past perfect. And then past perfect continuous is when something had already started in the past and then it was continuing to happen after another action in the past.
So I had been cooking when guests arrived.
Exactly.
Or when guests had arrived.
That's right. So I
means both the actions finished in past only. There is no connection.
Let me
at the
show you.
present moment.
I have a give me 1 second. I'm going to draw. I don't know if I have a piece of paper. There's a chart I like to draw to show you the difference. Will you give me just 1 moment? I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Also, while I'm looking this up, there are 2 examples right there. One is past perfect and one is past perfect continuous. If you would like to read those examples.
Yes. Sarah had been working here for 2 weeks when she had the accident. First clause in past perfect continuous, and second she had the accident.
Right. So I met them after they had divorced. So they had divorced. Maybe I can go ahead. I was going to look up how to draw it, but I'll just do it on my own. So
I met them after Both the sentences are first is a simple past and second is past perfect. I met them is simple past.
They had
and
divorced.
They had
Exactly.
divorced, past perfect.
So, for example, I'm going to draw this for you. They had divorced. They had divorced. I met them. Okay. This might look kind of silly, but okay. For example, here, do you see this timeline? Okay, so this is the past, this is the present, this is the future.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in the past. So the first blue line is when they had divorced. This is the event they had divorced. And this one is I met them, right? So they had divorce happen before. I met them here. So that's past perfect. Okay. And then let me show you how I'm going to do the other one right next to it. She had been working for 2 weeks when she had the accident. Okay. Now this is a little different. It's going to look kind of the same, but I'm going to dot the line. So she started working here. It had been 2 weeks that had passed. She's still technically working there, and then she had the accident here.
Okay.
So one happened first, and then in past perfect, the second one happened next. They're individual actions. But in past perfect progressive, or past perfect continuous, something starts and it continues to happen, and then another action interrupts. Does that make sense?
Interrupts. Okay. Yeah. Means we can use both the ways. The action which started in past, it can continuous in present, and sometimes the action which has been started in the past, it is finished in past, no connection with the present.
Exactly.
Means we can.
So we're going to look at some more examples to kind of clarify.
And one more second sentence we can use, like she has been working here for 2 weeks when she had the accident. So I think both the ways we can speak, because that action.
So actually, in this case, we couldn't use present perfect as well with the past. We couldn't say she has been working here for 2 weeks when she had the accident. It has to be past perfect continuous, since she started working in the past. And the accident also happened in the past. We have to keep both in the past tense.
Okay. Due to second action happen in the past, we have to use past continuous.
All right. So the past perfect tense emphasizes the result of an activity in the past. The past perfect continuous emphasizes the duration of an activity. So for example, that second example it gives, she had been working here for 2 weeks. So typically when we use a past perfect continuous, a lot of times you're going to see a duration of time. For example, I had been cooking for 3 hours when my guests arrived, right? So a lot of times you're going to hear the for 3 years, for 2 weeks, for 10 hours. You'll hear it, not always, but a lot of times you'll hear a duration of time.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at 2 more examples.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, here.
I had been to London twice.
So the 2 trips to London happened before this person got the job in New York. They're 2 separate actions. They happened at different times. So that's past perfect.
Yes. So our second clause, I got a job in New York, it's in past tense, and that's why we should use past continuous tense. We cannot use past perfect present perfect continuous.
And because the trips to London were also in the past.
Okay.
So yes, and you have to match them here. You couldn't say I have been to London twice. When we're using present perfect, it's because it's still relevant to what we're talking about now. In this case, it's not relevant to the present. It's relevant to what happened in the past. So that's why we're using the past tense.
Tenses are not a piece of
so
cake.
Another example of this, for example, if I wanted to use present perfect in this, I would say, I have been to London twice, so I know my way around the city. So that's present perfect then, because what I'm referring to is some knowledge that I have now. I'm referencing now. But in this case, we're talking about I got a job in New York in the past, so we have to use past perfect. They have to match.
Yes. It's an easy way to remember for me, because second clause in a past, so I have
that's
to
the easiest
use
way to remember it.
Past continuous perfect.
Okay, and let's look at the past perfect continuous example.
Yes.
So in the second one, you see it has the duration of time, right? 4 6 months. So like I said, most of the time you're going to see some duration of time when you're using past perfect continuous.
Richard needed a holiday because he had been working.
He's in the process in the past, had been working for 6 months, and then sometime in between then and now, one point and another, he needed a holiday. He needed a vacation.
Yes, it's really difficult. I think when we speak and we make a little bit here and there, it's okay. Well, but for IELTS, we can lose. Someone can lose marks.
Perfect continuous is not used that often. More so when maybe you're telling a story in the past or referring to an event, but it's not as common to use past perfect continuous to say, I had been doing this. It depends on the context. So if I'm talking about, I'm telling a specific story, I had been drinking my coffee when I got the call that I got a job, right? So I'm being very specific at what I was doing in the moment that something else happened. I had been sleeping when the earthquake happened. So I'm referring to something that I was doing in the past when another event interrupted it. All right, let's look at the next part. So
which tenses we use regularly in our day-to-day conversation? I think simple, all simple. Present perfect and past.
Yeah.
And then continuous and perfect tenses.
Right. So all the present
we use on daily basis.
Simple past, all the simple tenses. Present continuous is used very often. Even sometimes we use present continuous when we're talking about the future. It's a very common thing for native speakers to do. And present perfect as well is used a lot. In daily conversation the most.
Okay. And past perfect continuous
very rare,
and future perfect continuous. I think it's rare.
You can study that whenever you have free time and you get bored, the future perfect continuous. But I don't think I ever use future perfect continuous. I mean, maybe very, very rarely.
Yes.
So the past perfect tense, it shows two events in the past that are linked. Right? They're not happening at the same time, but somehow they're linked together. And then the past perfect continuous shows the cause of a past action. This is another way that they're used. So for example, I'll let you read these last two examples.
Okay. I couldn't take my flight because I had forgotten my boarding pass. Yes. First sentence is in past. I couldn't take my flight because I had forgotten. Yeah, I understood. And I have been traveling all night, so I was tired. Yes, I was tired because the action happened before
and it also has a duration
when I was
of time,
tired.
Right? All night. Yes. So again, in past perfect continuous, you're going to see some sort of duration of time. I can actually send you this link. Maybe I can even screenshot this. This is just a chart. Again, I'm a visual learner, so I love looking at things like this.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will give you the
Yes,
differences and how what they mean, and then also some examples as well. So past perfect and past continuous. So past perfect expresses a past action already finished when another past action happened. I met them after they had divorced. Past continuous, however, describes a past action which started in the past but continued to happen after another action started.